a few bits of murmurings coming out of Madrid that Eduardo Camavinga is unhappy. I think 116 minutes played so far this season for Xabi Alonso's Madrid, and not really the manager's favourite. Now, we know that Madrid have an interest in Alexis McAllister, and I think deep down, a lot of us do feel that Alexis will move on at some point. I don't think many of us think he's going to retire at Liverpool Football Club. So if there was a world, Chris, where we could make Camavinga come one way and McAllister eventually go the other way, and I'm thinking about this from the balance that we spoke about. We've got one DM really in Gravenberch. Yes, Endo's there, but very different DM. If you brought in Camavinga to give another bit of balance there, yes, you'd lose Alexis McAllister, but I'm just wondering, is it something you'd entertain?
100%. I love McAllister, but he started this season pretty rubbish, hasn't he? It's a fitness issue. I can see that, but as you mentioned, he's sort of the player who you can sort of see is destined to go to Spain at some point, whether it be with Real Madrid or with Barcelona. Camavinga has had that move very, very young, and never. To be honest, he had most of his minutes at left back, if things recall me rightly. So, yeah, I think in defensive midfield, when he was playing in the French league, he was ridiculously good. Like as a teenager, so I'd be so up for having him at Liverpool, man. He is class.
For me, Connor, the moment that I really was won around by Camavinga was when he played against Ireland with France. I remember just watching that game and thinking he's just bossing. Like, it's not too hard to boss our midfield, to be fair, but I remember just thinking, yeah, that is the business. So for me, I'm a huge Alexis McAllister fan, but balance-wise for the squad, if it was a case of, a smart move, one in, one out, maybe the budgetary constraints are allayed a little bit if there are any. It's not something that would break my heart to see, because I think deep down, like I said, I've always thought Alexis will eventually move to La Liga at some point, and if it was to get Camavinga into our side, I wouldn't be against it.
Yeah, it's not like we want to push McAllister out the door exactly, but like in a worst case scenario,
not like the fella down the bottom, kicking him out straight away.
Big McAllister hater. Yeah, if it was a case of like if McAllister did want to move, Camavinga wanted out, and we wanted Camavinga, then why not? Yeah, like he's a fantastic footballer, not getting enough minutes at Madrid. Like we said, we could definitely see McAllister ending up there, and there's been a lot of chatter around him. Like I even seen Matt Thielen the other day was saying that like in the summer Madrid were sniffing around McAllister, and both the player and the club were basically like, no, hands off. And now the stance seems to have softened from both parties, which is very interesting. Like, I don't know if that's, like we said, maybe the change in system, maybe he just, I don't know, like, I don't want to speculate and say that he doesn't like Arne Slot's tactics or whatever either, but there definitely does seem to be a lot of chatter around it, so it wouldn't be the most surprising thing if something like that did end up happening.
Give me a valuation on both, please, Chris. What would you say Camavinga's worth, and what would you say Alexis McAllister's worth? Taking into account we probably don't know Camavinga's contract situation off the top of our heads.
I look it up quickly here.
I'll have a look, but if in terms of valuation to Madrid, 60, like maybe.
He's valid at June 2029, so we're a little bit away.
Yeah, so he's got plenty of time in his contract.
4 years, we'll call it 80 then. And I think it's the same for McAllister. I think they're pretty much bang on exactly the same, to be honest. Totally different players, but similar valuations to the clubs. We could potentially argue McAllister's even more than Camavinga, because if he's only playing 116 minutes, doesn't seem like particularly great use of his time, really, being at Real Madrid and wasting his career away.
And for yourself, Connor, would you agree we're almost at a parity with valuations?
Yeah, I think with Camavinga having such a long contract, I'd say so. If they were the same length, I would say McAllister probably a little bit higher. Well, then again, like if you look at like Premier League proven players, like if you're looking at the likes of Declan Rice and Caicedo, the prices they went for, like should McAllister be up in the £100 million mark rather than the 80 million? That's not for me to decide, obviously, but I think like he should be up in that category. So again, I wouldn't be pushing for it, but if the club's seen that as a good deal, then I trust Richard Hughes in these things, to be honest. Like he does seem to be good with negotiating, so no doubt we would do the swap deal. They'd give us 60 million and 3 other players as well, because that's just how we operate usually.
I was confused about the valuation for Maka, because I feel like last season, at the end of the season, the valuation probably would have been higher than it is now, based off his start to this season. And when we're speaking about the midfielders that, you know, Declan Rice, Moise Caicedo, again, end of last season, I probably would have made the argument that he is somewhere around there, but not with what we've seen so far this season. So